Wednesday morning. Keith Tebow from FRC Media, and it is Wednesday, and we are joined each and every Wednesday, as often as we can, with the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you today?
Doing well, Keith. How about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yesterday was election day. A good day for the Democrats in the region and across the Commonwealth. What are your initial thoughts? You're going to be working with the new governor and lieutenant governor next year, Maura Healey and Kim Driscoll. I know you had supported that ticket. What are your thoughts about starting working with them beginning in January?
Yeah, that this should be a very smooth transition. I've already started to establish relationships with both of them. They're both stand-up people, and they have committed to helping Fall River in any way they can. And again, of course, that's always a give and take, and what we need versus what other communities in the state need. But they're solid people, and I'll probably be calling them later today to offer my congratulations. I don't want to flood everybody first thing in the morning, but they're a good team, and I especially like Kim Driscoll. As a former mayor, she knows exactly what's going on the front lines, and I'm sure she's going to be ready to hit the ground running.
The local special election yesterday in Fall River, whether the city should join the MBTA, that passed overwhelmingly. Now that that's over, I guess, next thing is, when's the train going to start? Late next year, right?
Yeah, that'll be the next thing, I guess. But it was very, very pleasing to see the return on that question, because for the life of me to this day, still don't understand why people would vote no on that. It was a real, as they say, a no-brainer. You go by those depots, you go by the layover station. It really looks like, to me, like progress for the city of Fall River. People, I was at, I don't know, four or five polling places yesterday, and it was just overwhelming. I'm holding a signed vote yes on the train, and people were just very, very supportive. I didn't for the life of me know why there was a cadre of people who thought that was a negative for the city of Fall River. And even looking at it this morning after, when you see the results like that, I guess most people thought like I did. But at the same time, I just still to this day don't know why people would not want the train. I went to the meetings, I listened, but if you listen to some of these people, they're from somewhere else. I have no idea what they're thinking, and it was win-win for the city of Fall River and the South Coast, and I'm very, very pleased with the results.
One other race I want to talk about is the race for sheriff. There'll be a new sheriff in Bristol County. I know you've worked with Sheriff Tom Hodgson. Any thoughts about him? And have you, did you know much about Mayor Heroux of Attleboro before he
I was
ran?
with them. We had a little rally Saturday down at Heritage Park. I was with them there very briefly. I don't really know a lot about Heroux, the mayor of Attleboro. I kind of just kept that race on the back shelf because I was working on the other ones, both the train and the governor and especially the Attorney General Andrea Campbell. I kind of liked her. Those are the ones I was focused on. And but again, I did see a comment here who made this morning on TV about how he was going to do 2 terms if he was fortunate enough to be elected again. So that's 12 years. And I think what happens with politicians after they are so long, I guess your time is kind of up. And I guess Hodson's been there for 20 something years, and he's had a long career. And again, the voters are the final arbiter of all these elections, and they decided they wanted to go in a different direction. So starting January, we're going to have a new sheriff in Bristol County, and that'll be fine.
That is a perfect segue into my next question for you. That is looking ahead to 1 year from now when you are up for re-election. I know we've talked about this in the past, and in the past you've said, well, you still have to make your decision. Do you have any intentions to run for a 3rd term next year?
I do. I've seen so many great things going on in the city of Fall River right now. And I've, knowing what I know now from being down here and working with people, whether it's the council, the state representatives, the governor, Fall River at this time, in my humble opinion, needs a little continuity. And I don't like talking about myself. I don't think that's how you make friends in the city of Fall River. But at the same time, I truly believe that people know you show up every day, you're accessible, you're out in the community, you're putting the city first above all else, um, and you're not afraid to listen to the negative comments and the foot stomping. Then you're okay to run the city of Fall River. And I believe in my heart of hearts that that's how people look at me. I look at myself in that regard. I try to develop relationships. I try to keep things moving. Um, we've had we've we've had I've had two or three of these elections, whether it was with Jazel or with Cliff, and I guess I'll ask the voters again for their support for another 2 years. I can't imagine that they would want to go another direction, but that is not my call. They're going to make the final decision, and I will always respect the will of the voters if that's what they want to do. So if they want to keep things moving along the way they are, they'll see genuine progress across the city, whether it's the waterfront, the reservation with hiking trails, our schools, public safety. We're going to keep working, and we're not, this is funny because you sit there and you watch all you do, and you're not going to hit a home run every time, and you're not going to bat 100%. You have to acknowledge the fact that working with people, having different ideas than you do, you're not going to always get your way. And if I disagree with Keith Tebow today, I'm working with Keith Tebow tomorrow. So that's how politics should be. If it doesn't have to get personal, it doesn't have to get nasty. It has to be a pointed disagreement on an issue. Okay, I say A, you say B. B wins. Tomorrow we're on to what's C and D, because there is no looking back if you're trying to move a city along like Fall River. And Fall River is absolutely loaded with potential. Work to do? Absolutely. Do we have warts? Absolutely. But we're going to work our way and fight our way through every one of them. And that's going to be my mission, hopefully, for another 2 years. But that's only, I have one vote and everybody else has one too. And we'll see how it ends up.
Obviously, we have 364 more days until that will be decided. We'll definitely talk more about that as we move forward. You mentioned the waterfront and the work being done there. This past Saturday, a great event at the waterfront dedicating the city pier to former state senator Tom Norton. I know I hadn't seen him in quite some time, and it was a real nice ceremony to not only dedicate the space to him and his contributions to the city, but also opening up that waterfront again to that recreational space.
Yeah, it's amazing to me because if you were there, Keith, and I know you were, while we were having the ceremony, people were already walking and out in that park with their dogs, and it was going on behind us as we dedicated the event, and um, people were very, very appreciative of finally getting that to a stage where it's usable. I think, it's late in the year this year to schedule stuff there, but next year we're looking forward to having some fun events for the community there. We're looking forward to adding the pilings to get some docks on the north side of that so boats can pull up. And I just think the view down there is absolutely spectacular. And it's just another piece in our waterfront. We have more to do, again, as I always say, but it's another little check off of one spot that looks good. And again, let's look at that. That was during the campaign. People had all these ideas about what they wanted to do with that space. You can't build a foundation in it. They won't let you go into the ground. But for the use we have now, it's 5 stars, and everybody that goes by there is just totally impressed with it. And I look forward to seeing what we can do down there next year.
All right. And finally, of course, Friday is Veterans Day. That means Veterans Day Parade here at downtown Fall River. And I believe the it starts at 1 o'clock. I believe is it coming from Kennedy Park down South Main again? I believe was it last year it came down Bedford Street? Is it coming back to South Main?
No, it's on South Main from Kennedy to Government Center, and it does start at 1, and we'll be out there marching. I hope everybody gets out. I hope we have a nice day, uh, and we get a crowd. It's always fitting to honor the people that allow us to do this. I mean, let's get real here. These are the people that let this country grow as a free democracy where everybody has a say, and without them, we wouldn't be marching down South Main Street. It could be a very different world, but because of the contributions of our veterans across the world, we're in we're in a very, very good space. And as far as I'm concerned, they're 5 stars and they're top of the list when you look at why the country works so well.
All right. All right, Mayor Paul Coogan, as always, thank you for your time. We'll talk again next week. Take care.
Okay, Keith, thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us here at FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week.